Morning broke over Maple Street with a deceptive calm, the kind that cloaks tension in silence. Sprinklers hissed faintly and sparrows bickered in the hedges, their chatter the only sign time hadn't frozen. On his front porch, Samuel Carter, a 68-year-old Marine veteran, sat in his wheelchair, its frame worn but sturdy, positioned to catch the sun's first rays. In his hands, a chipped mug bore a faded Marine Corps emblem, the coffee inside cold. But clutched like a talisman, a gray blanket lay across his lap, its frayed edges stitched unevenly, hiding something heavier than fabric, a cold metallic truth. Samuel didn't trust luck, he trusted readiness. The air shifted with a low growl, a dark gray SUV gliding onto the street, no plates, windows black as oil. It stopped at Samuel's lawn, engine idling like a predator's breath. Three figures emerged, a broad-shouldered man, Ethan, with a jaw too sharp and boots too clean, a woman, Clara, mid-40s, clutching a clipboard, her sunglasses swallowing her face, and a lanky kid, Tim, drowning in a uniform that didn't fit. Their badges were props, their authority a lie. Samuel's eyes tracked them, unblinking, as Ethan strode forward, voice booming, "You're in violation of HOA Code 17A. That wheelchair ramp's unapproved. We're seizing it." Samuel's voice was steady, cutting through the morning chill. "You're not sheriff, you're not state. Show me a badge that means something, or stay off my land." Ethan's face twisted, anger, maybe fear, and he lunged, grabbing the wheelchair's handles and yanking hard. The wheels caught, tipped, and Samuel crashed to the porch, his mug shattering, his shoulder slamming with the blanket slipped, revealing the glint of a shotgun. For a heartbeat, everything stopped. Clara muttered something sharp, Tim froze, and Ethan loomed, waiting for a cry that never came. Samuel groaned, but his eyes burned, locked on Ethan, unflinching. Even from the ground, a screen door creaked. Samuel's son Nathan stood there, trash bag in hand, staring at his father sprawled amid ceramic shards. The bag slipped from his fingers, hitting the porch with a journey story, with correct punctuation and without heading. Dull thud. His gaze flicked to the strangers, then to the shotgun, now exposed. Rage replaced shock. Nathan stormed down the steps, dropping beside his father, but the trio closed in like wolves. Clara, her badge reading, Officer Reed, leaned close, voice venomous, "Hands off, or you're next." Nathan's fist clenched. "You," threw a 68-year-old veteran from his chair. "He's got a pin in his hip, a fractured spine from cobble, and you're treating him like trash." Ethan crossed his arms, finding calm. He didn't file compliance forms for that ramp. It's a removable modification. Disability doesn't exempt him from HOA rules. Nathan blinked, the absurdity sinking in. "You're evicting him for being disabled." Ethan's reply was, "ICE policy applies to everyone. Emotions don't change that." Nathan glanced around. Neighbors peeked through blinds, but none moved. Fear built walls, and these imposters knew it. They thrived on it. Samuel hadn't spoken, but his eyes were wide, sharp, calculating. Nathan saw it, the look from old combat photos, 3 steps ahead of chaos. Clara poked at the wheelchair, smirking. "What's this homemade defense system?" Tim chuckled, pointing under the seat. "Pipe bomb or something." Their laughter was smug, untouchable. Nathan slipped inside, silent, grabbing the phone from the kitchen drawer. His fingers shook as he dialed. Sheriff Tom Harrove, his father's old friend, a man who owed Samuel more than words could repay. Outside, Ethan nudged the blanket, spotting the shotgun. "Old man's hiding, heat loaded too. Who keeps that in their lap?" Clara's smirk faded. She squinted at Samuel, still on the ground, his gaze piercing. "Wait, Carter." Samuel Carter, Feline Silver Star, his name's on the downtown memorial. Her face drained. Oh hell, they weren't facing a frail old man, they were staring at a legend forged in fire. They couldn't comprehend. Samuel shifted, slow, deliberate, propping himself on one elbow. The blanket slid back to his lap. His voice was soft, lethal. "You've got 3 seconds to leave, then I count out loud." "1." He said the word. A blade. The trio froze, breath shallow. Clara's hand twitched. Ethan's bravado cracked. 2. Samuel continued, calm as rain. "Go." Ethan shouted, voice breaking. They scrambled to the SUV doors, slamming, tires screeching as they fled, leaving dust and dread. Nathan journeyed a story with correct punctuation and without heading. Rushed to his father, heart pounding, but stopped at the click of a safety switch. Samuel set the shotgun across his lap, adjusting his Marine ring, its emblem catching the light. "It's fine, son. I wasn't going to use it. They just needed to think I would." 6 minutes later, patrol cars rolled in, lights flashing, sirens off. Sheriff Harrove stepped out, scanning the shattered mug, the porch marks, and Samuel now upright. "They went west," Samuel said. "Gray SUV, no plates, 6 minutes ago." Harrove nodded. "We've got them." The Imposters were nabbed 5 blocks away, cowering in their vehicle, arguing over maps, and Nerve One asked if Samuel could legally count like that. No one answered. By dawn, Maple Street was a circus. News vans lined the curb, cameras flashing, reporters jostling, neighbors once silent gathered, eyes fixed on Samuel's porch. Sheriff Harov faced a semicircle of microphones. These weren't officers. They wore fake uniforms, carried fake IDs, and targeted a veteran for intimidation. They're facing charges: impersonation, trespassing, unlawful detainment. More to come. He nodded towards Samuel, who wheeled forward, flannel crisp marine ring gleaming. The crowd hushed. Samuel's voice was quiet but unshakable. I fought for this country, so no one badge or not could drag me from my home like I don't belong. This isn't about me, it's about what happens when we look away. Silence held, then a single clap broke it, spreading until the lawn roared with applause. Neighbors who'd avoided Samuel's porch now stood for him, their silence replaced by respect. Inside, over coffee and paper, Samuel and Nathan met with attorney Lisa Grant, a former prosecutor with a knack for truth. This wasn't a one-off, she said, tapping a file. They targeted the elderly, the isolated, with fake violations and threats. Mrs. Larson paid $5,000 for a non-compliant fence built in '92, fully legal. Mr. Hayes, 72, paid $3,000 for his dogs. Loud breathing, they banked on fear. Samuel's jaw tightened. What did they want from me? Lisa slid a document forward. Unregistered wheelchair ramp, unauthorized lift, and refusal to cooperate. Nathan leaned in. When did you know? Generate a story, with correct punctuation, and without heading. They weren't real, Dad. Samuel's eyes met his when Clara said their HOA charter trumped the Constitution. No officer says that. They leaned on lies, expected panic. Lisa nodded. They're under investigation for fraud, coercion, elder abuse. You've cracked open something big. Samuel's reply was simple: good. Maybe next time someone won't face that knock alone. The courtroom was a pressure cooker, packed wall to wall, air thick with anticipation. Reporters scribbled, residents watched, some victims themselves. Ethan, Clara, and Tim sat at the defense table, their smugness gone, replaced by nervous tics. The prosecutor arose. The defendants ran a calculated scheme, impersonating officers to extort. The vulnerable charges include fraud, coercion, and elder abuse. She paused. Mr. Samuel Carter, please come forward. Samuel rolled down the aisle, blanket folded, eyes steady. The judge, young but sharp, stood. Mr. Carter, your actions were lawful, your restraint admirable. You may speak if you wish. Samuel adjusted his blanket. I'm no hero. I'm here because silence lets people like them think they can keep going. I've seen fear weaponized in war, and on my porch dressed in fake badges. I don't run, I don't bend. If they come back, they'd better be ready to finish what they start. The room was still. His words a monument. Spring came fast, greening yards and softening frost. Samuel's home stood behind a new fence built by neighbors who'd learned to stand up. On his porch he sat, as always, mug in hand, blues drifting from the radio. The shotgun now rested on a table, visible a quiet warning. Kids waved as they passed, some calling, Mr. Carter, thanks for keeping us safe. He'd nod, a faint smile breaking through. Samuel wasn't a hero. Heroes didn't come home. He was a man who'd held his ground, teaching a neighborhood that justice could wear a veteran's face, counting softly 1, 2. Thank you for watching Touching Story. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful tales of resilience and justice. See you in the next one. Journey to story with correct punctuation and without heading.